Good morning, you're watching NewsX. This is Ria Chima. Let's take a look at the breaking news coming in at the top of this morning. The Pakistan Army demands an urgent medical infrastructure at the LoC. The Pakistan Army faces heavy casualties at the LoC, and a confidential letter has been accessed by NewsX. Of course, you can see it on our screens. Now, Pakistan is demanding a medical infrastructure at the LoC after casualties. And NewsX has accessed the letter, which was written on October 6th this year. You can see the letter on our screens right now. We have Ajay Janjal, my colleague, who's joining us on the broadcast this morning. Ajay, so the Pak Army is now demanding an urgent medical infrastructure at the LoC after facing heavy casualties. Tell us more about this story.
This is the exclusive letter we have accessed at, which shows that how...
This is the exclusive letter we have accessed that, which shows that how Pakistan have faced heavy casualty across the line of control, and it will happen even in the past if Pakistan will not understand the language of peace, because we have seen that how again and again Pakistan was warned that Pakistan Army should not violate ceasefire and they should not target the civilians. But when they are doing it again and again, we have seen that even in the last 24 hours, more than 4 ceasefire violations have taken place on the line of control in the Poonch district and different locations. And they are continuously trying to target civilians, so that's why it was required, and that's why on the 6th of night, Indian forces, they have retaliated very effectively and targeted the defense position of Pakistan, in which they have faced heavy casualties. Number of Pakistani army men, they have been killed, and many of Pakistani army men, they have been injured in that retaliation. That's why that letter was sought by the Pakistani army forward position that they need a medical infrastructure there on the line of control. And it even shows that Pakistan, basically after facing heavy casualties, they are planning to strengthen its the medical infrastructure there on the line of control, because they know that they will not stop this ceasefire violation. They will not stop their nefarious plan of pushing in terrorists and targeting the civilians and targeting the defense forces on the ground, and that's why they required it, and they sought a letter to higher command for the same.
Right, Ajay, I can see as far the letter is concerned, there are many areas that have been, mentioned in this. So, were they not expecting any retaliation? I mean, at this point, of course, if they are going to continue, violating the ceasefire, then, of course, there will be retaliation.
Well, definitely it will happen, because as I told you that that four ceasefire back-to-back 4 ceasefire violation in Mankot, Khari Karmara, Balakot and the Kirni Kasbah area. These are the locations where civilian is being targeted. One female was targeted even yesterday, and we have seen that how grievously she was injured, and she has been shifted to the hospital for the treatment, and she is still fighting for the life. So it clearly shows that it is happening, and not only this, but number of times that the civilians, the innocent civilian is being targeted, and they have been killed in Pakistani firing. So that's why it is required to taught a lesson to Pakistan, and these kind of retaliation will take place in coming future if Pakistan will not understand the language of peace, and if Pakistan doesn't understand this Indian Army's retaliation. Even if they continue, then definitely they will get enough and effective retaliation in coming future also. Even there are input with the security forces that lot of terrorists are waiting across the line of control. Those who are planning to push and those who are getting support, cover fire from Pakistani Army side to infiltrate to this side, and to foil their attempt of infiltration. Even yesterday we have seen that how that CCTV footage, HSTI footage was emerged, which showing that how Pakistani terrorists and Pakistani army men, they were trying to cross and infiltrate to this side in the Keren sector from the Kupwara, which was foiled by the Indian Army troops, and warlike ammunition was recovered from that area. So these are the strategies of nefarious plans of Pakistan, which is being foiled by the alert Indian forces.
Right, Ajay. So is Pakistan now in a panic mode? Right. We also have Group Captain Jha, who's joining us on the broadcast in the morning. Group Captain Jha, tell us, what do you think about this latest development that's taking place in Pakistan?
I'm sorry, Ria, I have not seen the background. What really is the question?
Right, sir. So there is a letter that has now, been accessed by NewsX exclusively, which shows that Pakistan Army is now demanding an urgent medical infrastructure at the LoC after they face some casualties while the Indian Army has retaliated on the ongoing ceasefire violations. So your first reactions on that?
Oh yes, it has been already ongoing. The Pakistani casualty has been reasonably high all along. They have tried to violate the ceasefire. See, every time that ceasefire violation happens, we know here in India, because of our very vibrant media, that so-and-so has suffered casualty or so-and-so injuries are there. But we don't know anything what is happening on the other side of the LoC. See, every time that of late, in the last 5-6 years I'm talking of, every time that the Pakistani troops, they have tried to violate the ceasefire, there have been the reprisal, there have been the retaliatory fire from the Indian side. And usually our people, they don't believe that Pakistani have suffered the casualty, but they have been suffering reasonably high casualty. You must know about that. And Pakistani, they are the one who disown their own soldiers if they die somewhere around close to the LoC or on the Indian side. So they disown them. So that is how we don't know much. But the actually people there, they have been suffering. It is mostly the Rangers, it is mostly the Pakistani army, and those civilians who are very close to the LoCs. Then there are some areas along the LoC where the Pakistani the civilians also live close by. But once they violate the ceasefire, once the Pakistani troops, they fire onto our villages and the civilians, then Indian army is not holding anything back. It gives back to the Pakistanis. So in that exercise, in the past also, Pakistan has been suffering a lot. There is no infrastructure in form of the medical care in Pakistan. As such, Pakistani infrastructure of the medical care is in very rudimentary stage. Very old generations PSC has been there, something on that line. And that is not manned, there is no drug. Today, Pakistan doesn't have the money to spend onto the medical care of their people, of the civilian people at least. However, the military setup has got the similar component of the medical care as India has. But their actual military, actual army along the LoC has been very far and few. It is mostly the Rangers. So Rangers don't have all those type of care. So they have been suffering all this through, and I am not surprised that this letter has gone, and I am not surprised if there is a revolt in Pakistani army tomorrow. Yeah.
Right, sir. And what do you think now, what can we expect going forward? Because there continues to be ceasefire violations, and we've reported 3 in the last hour itself. Sorry, not in the last hour, in the last 24 hours. What can we expect now?
Well, yeah, nothing much can be expected on this, because see, Pakistani have taken a resolve that they will eat grass, but they will continue hurting India. So if that is the mentality, let them suffer. They will suffer. Their army will suffer. Their non-regular army, the Rangers, they will suffer, and their civilians will suffer. Because today Pakistani effort is just going in one direction, and that is trying to destabilize India, trying to hurt India through all their missionaries, among which the terrorists are the main backstay for them. So
right,
if
sir,
that is their resolve, they have to suffer.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.